Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm going to wait for Chris to join here in a second, but welcome to the second episode of Coaster101 Live. Waiting for Chris. Here we go.
Hey, we did it!
Hey, there he is.
We did it!
We did.
Yeah,
How's
man,
it going?
look at us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good on my end, man.
All right, wonderful. How are things?
Things are fine, yeah. Beautiful day here in Kansas City. Got outside, got some fresh air. Trying to see
It's no longer snowing there, is it? I feel like every time you're posting on social media, it's typically snowing there.
Yeah, no, we had a pretty mild winter, and I mean, it is gorgeous outside. It is like really showing out. So, spring has fully arrived. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. We just got to get to the next step, and then they'll be ready to get some park time in for sure.
Yeah, man. How are things with you? How are things in Carolina?
Things in North Carolina are good. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of working from home recently, and as we talked about last time, I've been writing some great stuff for Coaster101. I'm not going to toot my own horn there, but there's some good stuff on Coaster101.com if you guys haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, I will toot it for you. I mean, there's some good stuff. The thing you did on, Boogie Board with Carowinds. I mean, the article that you guys did, the behind-the-scenes look at our Sparkle Factory, our costume shop, where nearly all the costumes for Winterfest, Grand Carnival, for all the Cedar Parks come out of. I mean, really good article, really in depth. Shows you all kinds of good stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So kudos to you, man. You guys are pumping out some great content over there. We're
trying, man. There's only so much we can do, and only so many crossword puzzles I can create. So without going a little too stir crazy.
Yeah, I hear you.
But for those of you watching, and I appreciate you doing it. Chris and I, we go way back. Chris, you got your start in the industry early 2015. Is that about right?
Yeah, January 2015 at Carowinds, right before we launched Fury 325. So it was an exciting time to join up and get in the industry for sure. Yeah.
So I mean, and obviously you've transitioned now into your role at Worlds of Fun, but what do you miss? What are some things you miss about Carowinds?
I mean, the state line was really cool. I mean, just going to work every day, crossing back and forth, and the laps around the park. They've done a tremendous job there at Carowinds with Copperhead Strike, the county fair. I mean, they just continue to do amazing things, and the vision that they have for that park is spectacular. I mean, it is really something to see. So, I miss the people probably most of all, but, I've got some good people here with me at Worlds of Fun, too. So
that's good.
Yeah. I miss Fury the most.
You did.
For being honest.
That's okay. I mean, it wasn't with the working with me in the Cara Blogger program. That's okay. I'm not going to fault you for that. We're good.
Well, I don't know if you remember the Kidcaster thing we did for Planet
I do.
Snoopy. I missed her maybe just a little bit more than you because she was a pretty rad girl. But I do miss hanging out with you and having easy access and inviting you out to the park. And I was just telling someone today how we would, you would come into the park and we're like, hey, you want to take a walk inside of Boo Blasters?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the best. I tell you what, I still remember walking through that Boo Blasters and just being like, I'm definitely, the park is obviously closed at this point, and we're walking through Boo Blasters. Nothing's operational. There's no one in the park. It's kind of like the setting of a horror movie. And we're sitting there walking through, the classic dark ride, just kind of getting up close and personal with everything. It was really cool. So it's a shame no pictures or video were taken that day, because those would have been some fun content to put out there at this time.
Yeah, we're gonna have some secrets,
Absolutely.
It was fun just to have someone to kind of roam and do some of that cool stuff with, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you just celebrated your 2-year anniversary at Worlds of Fun. Is that right?
Yes. 2
Okay.
years.
Quick math.
Yeah. Quick math. Carry the one and two. Yeah, two.
1 and 2, and we're good.
Yep.
Obviously, I went out to Worlds of Fun for the first time last October. I loved it. If anybody's watching, I know there's a lot of Worlds of Fun fans. I just see Missouri coasters. They've probably been to Worlds of Fun. If you haven't been, it is a great park. It's not on the same scale as a Carowinds or a Kings Dominion. It's not as big of a park, but it's got that charm. Lamar Hunt, when he created the park in the 60s, a lot of that charm is still there today. So it's just, you want to talk kind of a little bit about Worlds of Fun and kind of the
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I mean, I couldn't have said it better. It does have charm. It is a little bit smaller, but I mean, it's got a lot of personality. It's a very home-filling park. The landscaping is very well done. They put a lot of time and effort in, kind of the smaller things, the backstory, and, just the community, how they rally around this has been probably one of my favorite things to experience. I mean, the Midwest, I'm telling you, I mean, they really, there really is a sense of community here, and, we feel the love in the park for sure. The water park, Oceans of Fun, it is huge, not to be overlooked at all. It's when it was built as the largest water park in the world. There's trees, there's shade. We're adding Riptide Raceway this year, which is a 4 different slides. It's going to be the longest in the world. So, a lot to look forward to. And, we've got, a lot of people. I mean, I manage our social media too, and everyone's, always commenting, when are you guys going to build a new coaster? If I could build it, I'd build it tomorrow. But, I think there's a lot of things in the park that shouldn't be overlooked. And, a lot of it is the charm. A lot of it is just the overall quality of rides. The different themed areas, I think they all come together really well to make a really nice experience for families and thrill seekers alike. And, we've got some good coasters as well, as you can
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Prowler at night. I don't know if to me, maybe the Beast at night for sure. The Beast at night is like probably number 2 for me all time. But I mean, the Prowler at night, especially at haunt when you get the fog coming up, I mean, it is just a great experience.
Yeah, that was the one coaster you and I got to ride together, was a ride on Prowler at night when I visited Worlds of Fun, and it's completely dark out there. It is bananas.
Yeah,
just
it's crazy.
But
flash gets you, and you're just like out
oh
of
my gosh.
I mean, that thing moves too. So, yeah.
You mentioned the comment. People ask a lot when Worlds of Fun is going to get a new coaster, and that kind of it jogged my memory a little bit to the project you and I worked on last fall, which was the Stuff Coaster Enthusiasts Say video. I feel like that was pretty well received. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. It was definitely one of our most successful videos of the year. I think it ended up. I mean, the when we changed the name from Patriot to Patrick, that went all sorts of crazy viral. But I mean, it was I think our number 2 most popular post that year. So that was really cool to see. It was fun to work on. I mean, I had a blast putting it together. We had the help of our great interns out there, which was nice. And I don't know, it was very well received. And it's nice to kind of create a little something special for our coaster enthusiasts out there.
For sure. And there was a little throwaway line in there about about Starbucks being closed. I mean, you never got any blowback from that, did you?
I mean, none that I really care about. To be honest with you.
That's fair.
It was all fun and games, and I think we actually got followed by them. Apparently they didn't follow us. I don't know how you call yourself a theme park site. You don't follow the theme park, but whatever. But that was funny. I mean, it was it was something that I especially rode for that, just because we wanted to find a way to have fun with that, and kind of it's something that only the coaster enthusiasts really knew and connected to right away. So I mean, it was awesome.
Absolutely. So and another thing, I mean, you touched on briefly, what is one thing in your mind at Worlds of Fun that is kind of a hidden gem at the park?
Oh man, hidden gem.
And I mean, it can be haunt, it can be something at Winterfest, it can be a flat ride, it can be a coaster, whatever you want to talk about.
I mean, our events, our live entertainment at our events. I mean, it's really good. Our haunt is I mean, we go all out for our events. Haunt, I mean, if you haven't experienced Haunt at Worlds of Fun, I don't know how we keep on getting snubbed from like the top 10 list or whatever, but it's definitely up there because I've been to some of the other parks that are mentioned, and it's just crazy that we're not up there. But I mean, we start each night with a big parade, and we've got all these antique cars rolling in. We have the Overlord's Awakening, and then the houses are just really intense. I mean, we kind of toe the line and then kind of peek over it a little bit too. So it's a little bit more extreme than maybe some of the other theme haunts, but I mean, we do it well. And same goes for Grand Carnival. We debuted that event last year, and I mean, it blew me away. It was one of the coolest events I have ever been a part of or seen at an amusement park or at any kind of level. I mean, it was just amazing. The food, the drink, the party, the street party was crazy. But the parade at night, how it fit into the park, the theming, I mean, it was just really cool to see it come together. And it was also really cool just because, our team really worked hard to deliver that for, I mean, that's a long event too. I mean, we were just feeding off the energy of the crowd and keeping it going. I mean, both are really incredible. Thank you, Aaron, for that, because definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, obviously, based in North Carolina, I don't get out to the Midwest as much as I'd like to. And, I'm not saying this because I just saw Maggie pop in the chat and King's Dominion pop in the chat, but I went to Grand Carnival at King's Dominion, and it's a completely different transformation of the park. It's just like I could go to Grand Carnival and watch the entertainment and eat the delicious food and not ride anything and just have a really, really content time. And I know it, having experienced Haunt at Worlds of Fun, I know Grand Carnival is probably just as great.
Oh yeah, I mean, also too, what struck me about that event is I felt like you could visit it. You could go to multiple nights at Grand Carnival and still have a blast. We had a lot of people that did, a lot of season pass holders that just, came out multiple nights. And when you're putting together an event, that's definitely a plus. So it was really cool to see executed.
Yep. And let's see. Patriot got a new coat of paint this off season. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I mean, it was primarily just for the upkeep of the coaster. A lot of people, I think I saw on their Facebook, someone was asking why Mama didn't get the paint first, and a lot of it just came down to just keeping the ride well maintained. So I mean, yeah, we got it done. You'll have to remind me of the gentleman. Maybe late December, early January. So, check out the Words of Fun blog on worldsoffun.com. There's a nice article in there. I posted it yesterday on our Facebook too. If you're not following us on social media.
Gotcha. And if you can get a plug in, I'll also take up time for a plug. If you go to Coaster101.com, a couple years ago we did an interview with Bainham Painting. Fantastic work that they do. Fantastic, talking to them. So just go search for Bainham Painting, BAYUM, on our site and check that out.
Yeah, what a cool job too. I mean, just watching them do it, it's just really cool to see.
For sure. Let's see. Well, Well, we got a second. Anybody in the chat have any questions for Chris or I? I see Butch. Butch, hope you and the family are doing well.
Doing good, Pop. Roll Tide.
All right, Meg, go ahead. What do you got? Favorite non-coaster ride? Chris, you want to take that one first?
Give me a second because I don't want to be too much of a homer here. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is probably Cyclone Sam's at Worlds of Fun. Just because I don't know. I mean, that thing packs a punch. It's indoor, black lights, kind of a vortex ride. But I don't know. I mean, Tower of Terror is really good. I kind of like that one. Just did got to drive the Millennium Falcon. Smuggler's Run. I mean, that was really, really cool. Just being a Star Wars fan. So I don't know. Probably Smuggler's Run. I mean, just really cool.
Okay. So you got to drive Smuggler's Run.
I did.
Okay. Because when I got to ride, they handed me the card that said engineer. So it's like push the button, push the button, push the button. Let everybody else handle everything, and you can just push this button. So I feel like that's one of those that's based completely on experience. Like if I had been given the joystick, it would have been a lot more fun. But I think if I get an answer on this question, I really like Falcon's Fury, Busch Gardens Tampa. I think that face first drop is something you can't get very many other places, and I really, really like. I cannot, for the life of me, remember the name right this second, but it's the other Star Wars ride, Rise of the Resistance.
The line was way too long. I really wanted to. Have you ever been on what is that? The Harry Potter rides and Universal?
Yeah.
Do you count those as coasters?
RCDB lists them, and Coaster Count has them as coasters.
Okay.
So I go based off of RCDB. I mean, I don't. Everybody in the community counts their credits a different way. Some people don't count Alpine coasters. Some people don't count coasters twice after they've been moved. It's all just, I think Gringotts is considered a coaster. Forbidden Journey is not a coaster. So, yes, exactly what Eric is saying in the chat. All right, let's go a couple more questions. Giga coaster versus a mega coaster. A Giga coaster is 300 feet tall. A mega coaster is, oh man, I'm going to get yelled at for this one. It's either 100 or 200 feet. Do you know the answer to that one, Chris?
Hyper's over 200, so...
Okay, so mega coaster would be 100 then.
Yeah.
Perfect. And scariest roller coaster experience ever.
I actually had the privilege of going to King's Dominion over Halloween Haunt, and had never ridden Intimidator 305, and got on there, and I gotta say, I just was not expecting the punch it threw my way. What a wild, intense ride that just does not give up. I mean,
No, at all.
It was crazy. So, I mean, probably that just because it climbs that lift hill quick. I mean, Fury climbs the lift hill quick, but that thing gallops up the lift hill, and then it's crazy the whole way.
And you said you rode it at night?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's I think mine is also a night ride. It was a Fury night ride during Haunt, and it was like a light rain, and so I was going down the drop on Fury, and just rain pelting me in the face. It was hauling. It was just the most intense, absurd experience I've ever had.
I will add, another very terrifying roller coaster ride that I had. I love to tell this story just because it was kind of my introduction and like really hooked me from this point on. But when I first started Carowinds, we had just gotten the sticker for Fury 325. There were water dummies on it. And I was out there, shooting video or photography or something. And our general manager at the time, Mike Fainal, looked over at me and says, "Hey, do you want to ride?" And it was just me and him, freezing cold in February. And I'd ridden roller coasters when I was like in high school. I hadn't ridden a roller coaster in probably 5 years at that point. I kind of just fallen out of it, and I'm talking about what an introduction back into it. I mean, it was cold. The water from the water dummies was kind of either that or it was like cold and a little rainy outside. I don't really remember it, but like that was my first ride on Fury 325, and it was a scary but an amazing experience.
Perfect. What people might not know about you is that when you were at Carowinds, you had the hand in naming several attractions. And Butch is asking if you've named any attractions at Worlds of Fun yet.
I mean, I had my hand in helping name Riptide Raceway. I was, Roll Tide Raceway. No, not really. But I think we were kind of toying around with some Tide and, just came up with that. So not quite yet. But, and also, too, at Carowinds, it was really a team effort. I think I did, I remember I came up with Kitty Hawk, and it's it's one of those things you're kind of nervous to say out loud. You just kind of throw it out there kind of under your breath, and someone liked it, and, I don't know. Rest is good there, but yeah.
Let's see. Hannah wants to know if, given the opportunity, would you RMC Timberwolf? I personally would not. I think, they just did that work the last off season with the Helix, the upward spiraling Helix. If you want to go back to the
dream.
But yeah, that was a fantastic ride. I don't think it needs the RMC treatment.
People drive me nuts because they, I don't know, they have it in their mind that they just don't want to like Timberwolf. And it is, when I'm not riding Prowler at night, if it's a day ride, Timberwolf is my favorite, just because it is a classic wooden roller coaster. It was named the top wooden roller coaster for the first 8 years that it opened. It's still that same great ride. It did get rough over the years, but like I said, it's we're continuing to work on retracking during this off season with GCI. I always mess it up. GCI. Yeah, that's right.
GCI. Great coasters. Yep.
So, it's really a much smoother ride, and it's got all the great elements of a good classic wooden coaster. So, I would not RMC. There's not a coaster in the park I would RMC at all. I like them. Still Vengeance is one of the craziest rides I've ever been on. It is a great still coaster. If you can make it up to Cedar Point, that's got to be on your bucket list. But there's not one at Worlds of Fun that I would jump on that. We're putting in a lot of work on Prowler too this off season. So got to preserve the Woodies, man. They're good rides, they're classics, and as long as you take care of them, they'll give you a good experience for sure.
So for those watching at home, Worlds of Fun currently has no plans to RMC Cosmic Coaster, despite what you may read on the internet.
Is that a rumor for real? No,
I made that up.
Okay. You never know, man. You never know.
Meg wants to know, Chris, have you ever been stuck on a roller coaster?
It is impossible to get stuck on a roller coaster.
There you go.
Yeah, when a roller coaster stalls, it means a roller coaster is working properly. The way that's always been kind of explained to me by our engineers, it's like a check engine light. A roller coaster has millions of sensors on it, maybe thousands. I don't know if I want to say a million, but thousands of sensors on it. When something could even possibly, potentially, interfere with a ride or something, it stops it at the lift hill so maintenance can check it out, clear it, and dispatch.
Perfect. Are you the? I know you're kind of a coaster enthusiast. I mean, you've got some coaster credit to your name. Are you the type of enthusiast who keeps count of your coaster credits?
So I did not. I haven't. And then I think I was bored on a plane ride. I was bored on a plane, and I was like, I wonder if I can like count through. And so I did. Now learning that a couple of the Universal rides are coasters, I could probably add a few, but I think I was like maybe just over 100, maybe like 106 or so. But I mean, as a teenager and as a kid, I mean, I was obsessed and
Yeah.
Watched every Travel Channel special, and
Yeah.
I'm
with you right there. To answer that question on my end, Meg, 240, and I keep track of it. Just not trying to flex, but the question was asked. I gotta answer it.
240. What's going to be the big 250? You got that plan?
I did, but we'll see what happens now.
Yeah.
So, Kelsey wants to know, what is the best haunt maze at Worlds of Fun?
I mean, I really like Cornstalkers. I love the storyline. I mean, you can do a lot of hiding in the tall rows of corn. So that's a good one for sure. I mean, that's a classic.
I agree.
Lord of the Vampire too, and I hope that someone out there has been to Worlds of Fun's haunt, because it is actually, part of it is located in the old Orient Express station, and it is a very long, very detailed, very elaborate maze. All of them are. I mean, that's again Blood of the Bayou.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that one was incredible too. I mean, just the level of detail. We do all of the portraits on the wall, and like,
Yep.
I would love to have one in my house.
Yeah, I was looking back to just remember off the top of my head, because again, I was just there one night and only got to experience the one night. But Lord of the Vampire, I do remember it was, you had the upper level, you had the outside portion, you had the downstairs area. I mean, it was all just it was next level, and that was definitely my favorite maze there. Why not mention that it's Carowinds' birthday today? It's Carowinds' birthday today. Happy birthday to Carowinds.
That was March 23rd.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been out of practice with the Carowinds history.
It's all good.
I thought it was the 23rd.
I don't know.
Stand corrected. It's 31st. My bad.
You're good, man.
Yeah.
You've been gone for 2 years. I'm the one who probably should know that, and I didn't. So we're even there. Let's see. I don't really want to ask that question, but because we kind of touched on it already. But what are the odds of Worlds of Fun getting a new coaster before its 50th season? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
No, I mean, it's a fair question. It's been a minute. I don't know if people tuned in to the rap battle I had on Twitter with Kentucky Kingdom. That was the only jab that I felt like they really got on us. I mean, it was a good jab. It was a hook. It got us a little dizzy. But, I think the park definitely has potential. And this is just my opinion on it, because I don't make the plans. The park definitely has potential. It's hard to say if we will or we won't, but you just got to keep coming out, keep supporting us. There's just a lot of potential in that park, and I think right now for us, it's really correcting and improving the overall guest experience at the park. I mean, that definitely is our top focus right now, just making sure that families and thrill seekers alike, every time they come to the park, they get exactly what they need and have a great time.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, you have a record-breaking attraction coming to the park in 2020.
It's true.
So,
yep.
Somebody is asking what RMC means. That's Rocky Mountain Construction. They're a roller coaster company out of Idaho, who they build their own coasters, but they also convert wooden coasters into steel coasters. Somebody
YouTube the Still Vengeance POV, because that, to me, that's the holy grail of RMC. I haven't ridden a lot of them, but that one is insane. What they were able to do to Mean Street is just incredible.
Yes. Let's see. We've got somebody asked about getting a career at Worlds of Fun. Do you want to talk about kind of the hiring experience?
Sure. I mean, so, there's a lot of ways you can get in. The number one way, and the way that most of our upper management gets into the theme park experience, is actually starting as a seasonal associate, whether it's in operations, lifeguards and aquatics, food services. A lot of them started off as, ticket takers, hourly associates, or entertainers. That's a great way to just, get immersed in the industry and kind of work your way up. I mean, that's a great thing, I think, about the amusement park industry is, if you really like it and, you get into it and you fall in love with it, there's a lot of opportunities to kind of make it your career if you want to. I mean, there's a lot of advancement opportunities, and I got to tell you, it's a blast. It is a really fun job.
Right, and I've hung out with you in the park a couple of times, and you're the kind of full-time associate who likes making sure that everybody in the park is having a great day. And I mean, even if that's just like walking up to somebody, talking to them, asking them questions, or whipping a quick cue out of your pocket. I mean, it's it's getting that overall experience. The guest experience is something that I've seen you do, and I know a lot of Cedar Fair employee or team members, associates, feel the same way. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, that's the funnest part of my job, to be honest with you. I mean, I love creating content, and I love, doing PR and the whole earned media stuff. But, taking a lap around the park and just, seeing a kid having a great day and asking him, hey, what was your favorite ride so far? I mean, that's just been incredible.
Yeah. Meg has asked, if you have ever gotten sick while riding a roller coaster or after a roller coaster.
No, man. I've got an iron stomach. I don't get queasy very much, so I don't know. I definitely felt woozy after some of the VR stuff where, it takes a minute for my head to get level, but never sick. How about you?
The only time I've been close was Mission Space at Epcot. And I didn't really know what to expect. And they put motion sickness bags in that ride for a reason. That's all I'm going to go with there. So, just like an airplane.
You've grown, man. You've come a long way since then.
Exactly. Chris, you there? Oh.
I mean, Carowinds is definitely up there just because I have a connection to it. But I had the privilege of visiting Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, and that place kind of reminds me of Worlds of Fun a little bit, just that it's not the biggest park, but it just has a lot of charm. So I don't know. I mean, it was a beautiful park and a really cool experience in an amazing city. So I'd probably have to say Tivoli Gardens.
Gotcha. Perfect. You did a couple other parks on that European trip, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Prater Park in Vienna, and then Oktoberfest. I mean, Olympia looping, man.
I was going to say, you got on Olympia looping.
Yeah, after 2 big beers, and it was awesome.
Coaster Chaos wants to know what are some off-season projects that are currently going on at Worlds of Fun.
There's actually, we have the construction of Riptide Raceway. Something that we haven't talked about. You got a Coaster101 exclusive here. We're doing. I kind of mentioned a little bit about it earlier, but we're doing. We're continuing work on Timberwolf, but we're also doing a lot of work to Prowler this year. Just regular maintenance that you would do on a wooden roller coaster. And I don't have the exact figures in front of me, but I mean, various spots throughout the entire track are getting, redone and, re-engineered and kind of just, improved this off season. So that's exciting. Our landscaping team, shout out to, Nick Pence and all of his team. I mean, they do a tremendous job. They are, doing, a lot of beautiful projects in the park as they always do. So that's always nice to see. Really, I mean, the big one is the construction on our new water attraction.
Yep. I got a question for you. It was not asked in the chat, but Worlds of Fun recently, along with a lot of the other Cedar Fair parks, has kind of stepped up their culinary game a little bit. You guys have the boathouse. What's the new barbecue restaurant?
No,
sorry.
Boathouse Grill.
No, it's not Boathouse Grill.
It is Cotton Blossom Barbecue. That's
Cotton Blossom Barbecue.
There's a little bit of confusion about that one.
Sorry about that.
No,
but
you're good.
You've got Chef Wesley Boston at the park as well. What is something on his menu that is one of your favorite things to eat at the park?
I mean, the barbecue. I mean, coming to Kansas City, from Carolina or living in Carolina for a long time, originally from Alabama. And, coming to Kansas City, I've eaten all the staples, all the big spots here. Really just blown away about, they really perfected their barbecue technique. And
yes.
It's tremendous. I mean, that hands down, I mean, we make our own sauce. We make our own rub. And, I mean, they were trying to go into telling me, like, how down to, like, a gram of measurements they put in, like, experimented with the rubs and stuff. Yeah, so definitely. And the sides are great, too. I mean, the broken sprouts, you just can't go wrong there. I mean, I'm really impressed with that. But there's some other stuff too around the park, especially around Grand Carnival. Special menu items that are really good, not to be missed. Right.
Any updates on Levi and the railroad?
So we it's kind of a long story. So the latest update is actually up on our blog, and as far as my knowledge, that continues to be the plan. So Eli is still being worked on. We have Levi coming in. I believe it should be arriving in the park this spring. That might get pushed back a little bit, maybe looking at maybe June. Who knows? But, I mean, we do plan on having a train back on the World Fun Railroad this season. That is the plan. Yeah.
Perfect. In your opinion, what is the best 1990s family sports movie, and why is it Little Giants?
I don't know, though, man. I really like Sandlot.
Okay, that's fair. But why is Little Giants so good, though?
I mean, you just have the underdog story. Becky the Icebox O'Shea. First of all, don't ever tell a woman that she can't accomplish anything, because she beat the Cowboys, okay?
She did.
I mean, it's just an amazing movie how it progresses. I mean, Junior Floyd, you have this whole team of ragtags. Just one time. Just one time. You got Rick Moranis performance. I mean, who's the Ed
O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill, man. First of all, can we talk about he was a Heisman Trophy winner?
Yes.
And then he buys a car dealership back in his hometown.
Yes.
And then he coaches a Pee-wee football team, and like that's his life.
Hey, there's only so many things you can do in Urbana, Ohio.
I'm just saying, there's something and there's a backstory there we're not getting. I don't know. I'm saying maybe he has some vices we don't know about. Something's pulled this guy down a couple of pegs.
We need to do Little Giants 2. And
there we go.
Call Rick Moranis. We're gonna make this happen.
Someone told me he's coming back for something.
He is. He's doing a Disney got him for a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot, I think.
Oh gosh, the one I don't know. I mean, I liked the first one as a kid. I'm not gonna throw shade on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
There you go.
Anyway.
But yeah, you call the sequel Little Giants 2 the re-annexation of Puerto Rico.
That is, you nailed it. I think that kid is actually now coaching with the Rams.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
He's the head coach. I cannot remember that guy. It would have been a funnier joke if I could remember. Who's the Rams head coach?
Oh, Sean. No.
Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Sean McVay? Yeah. Sean McVay.
McVay, yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a horrible joke that took a while to get there. And
that's all good. We got there. That's the key. It landed.
Moving on.
Speaking of football, did you ever hear anything from the Chiefs after you guys renamed the roller coaster?
No.
Renamed Patriots Patrick.
No, I did not. I did hear from it was a sportscaster that apparently the Patriot, and this is all hearsay, so who knows? He could have just been blowing smoke at me, but whatever. They played, or they showed the story of us renaming a coaster to the Patriots or something like that. I don't know, maybe it was in a loop of ongoing sports stories. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Can you update on the construction of, I believe it would be Riptide Raceway at Oceans of Fun? I mean, is it in progress at this point? I know, a lot of people, you're probably working from home and haven't been at the park. But
yeah, I'm working from home. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I know that before all of this, craziness occurred, we were well ahead of schedule. So we were in a good place. I believe that, I want to say that there are, still contractors up there. I mean, our goal is, to still have it up
right
when Oceans of Fun opens. But, check our Facebook, our Instagram, and Twitter tomorrow. I've got a construction update with some really cool photos that I'm going to share.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm gonna let you go. I got one final question for you though.
Cool.
WrestleMania 36 is this weekend. Your boy Kevin Owens is going up against Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, as he's been going by these days. What's your prediction for that match?
I have no idea. I have not kept up with wrestling in a long time.
I'm
more of I'm in 90s Attitude Era, Stone Cold. I don't know. But I will say I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens, but Seth Rollins is really good. I've seen in some of his matches. He's one of the best. But KO all the way, man. I was a big fan when he was Kevin Steen and fighting El Generico, Ring of Honor. Those were some of the craziest, best matches of all time. So, big Kevin Owens fan. Hands down the guy.
Perfect. And if there are no more questions, I really appreciate Chris hopping on the second edition of Coaster101 Live with us. We're going to attempt to make this a more regular thing. Not necessarily with Chris, but he's obviously welcome at any time if he wants to come back.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I mean, always appreciate us working together. You're a lot of fun, and again, just shout out to Coaster101, the entire team. You guys continue to do a tremendous job, just for the industry as a whole. Not just my parks, not just Cedar Fair, but you guys do a really good job of delivering really good information that's informative and depth to the masses, and really helping us share our stories. So shout out to you guys.
I appreciate it. We'll keep doing it. So, all right, Chris, well, you take it easy, and have a great rest of your night, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, man. See you later.
All right, take it easy.
See ya.
All right, bye.